Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back after that break. It's the second set of the day. It's Corvidae versus Avant Garde. My name is Alf Jacqueline, and of course, joined by Lynx Clone for this one. Lynx, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. This should be an interesting set. Avant Garde and both Corvidae are coming off of losses. Avant Garde, they actually did pretty decently in the second game against Inside. Corvidae got, from what I've heard, destroyed by Llamas. So this week it should be interesting to see how the more lower level teams go. Because they're both, I believe, 5th and 6th on the ladder currently.
Yeah, Avant Garde currently slipping down to 5th place. They need to 2-0 to tie with Llamas at 6 and 10. And don't forget, they play each other in a week 10, with the previous set between them being a tie. So it's still all to play for Avant Garde and Llamas as they both chase down that 4th and final seed position for the LAN. And it's anybody's game, really. Next week, they do face Inside and Direwolves for Llamas and Avant Garde separately. So it's all going to come down to that final week 10 matchup, provided Avant Garde do get a 2-0 here.
Yeah, so Avant Garde, the last time these two teams versed was in week 4, and during the first game, Avant absolutely stomped over them. There was no question. I think it was like a 20-minute game, very quick. The second game, however, Corvidae actually nearly won. The only reason they lost was simply because they messed up a Fire Giant attempt, and instead Avant just took that straight away and ran down the mid lane to take Titan. But it was very close, and Corvidae nearly actually won that first game in the OPL, so it's kind of like a rematch of that kind of situation, really.
Yeah, and we're just going to quickly head into picks and bans of game 1. And Avant Garde, they're going to take over the blue side this game. So first pick, first ban goes over to them.
Yeah, so what I expect to see from Avant Garde, especially for Liquid Renegade, he likes those kind of warrior supports, or Thor, not warrior supports, warrior junglers, sorry. He likes the more tanky, more CC enabled kind of junglers. Raijin going to be the first ban. Everyone's banning on Raijin right now, while purple pots are still a thing. He is just too strong in lane as well as mid and late game.
And Thor's going to be taken off the table as well. That high pressure controlling presence from the jungle going to be taken off the table. And this matchup between Avant Garde and Corvidae is really an option for both of these teams to just flex a little bit and just see how far they can go with their invades, with their objective control. So taking off this Thor, taking off this Scylla, taking off the Guan Yu as well, are really good to try and limit that potential.
Even though he's currently considered a little bit weaker than he was a few patches ago, he still is a very strong god when it comes to sustain. However, Kraken getting picked up for Avant Garde. I actually really liked this draft last week. Even though Avant did lose to Inside, game number 2, there was some very good resistance from El Chocos in the solo lane on his Kraken, doing a very good job. The game almost was won by Avant, but Inside in the end were able to take it. So him getting Kraken
well, one of the best counters to that very tanky Kraken is the Nemesis. Shred away those protections, and well, he's kind of squishy at heart. Bacchus also going to be taken up, so a lot of burst potential coming up from Corvidae. Option back over to Avant Garde. It's Huyi and Ratatasker let through to the third pick option for Avant Garde. And, well, there's a very high damaging early game rotation heavy jungler with a nice controlling ADC, and Neith's going to be the response from Corvidae.
So Neith can go either in the mid lane or the ADC role. We've seen in the past Yard and a few other people in the OPL play Neith in mid, just using the fact that she has a lot of ability damage early on with that Spirit Arrow. And now, since most ADCs are now building the Transcendence stuff instead of Golden Bow, because Golden Bow is out of the game, Neith has become a little bit more prevalent. Just
Athena and Ravana going to be taken off the table. Ravana, one of the better solo liners at dealing with the Kraken, has a lot of sustain in his passive, giving him extra health, and through his Tenor Jellyfish healing him as well. I can already start to bully and push out the Kraken. Yana's taken off the table as well by Corvidae. Just, again, denying even more rotations to Avant Garde. They already have the hyper-aggressive rotational-based Ratatasker, so taking away the Yanis is going to limit that a bit more.
Yeah,
Tyr,
you also
the
have
final
to
ban
mention
from
about that
Avant.
Mouse is a very good Yanis player, so how we saw last game, Tyr did a good job. Mouse has a very similar sort of level of efficiency with the Yanis. Apollo going to be the next pick. Most likely that's going to be going to the duel, and you don't really see an Apollo mid, and Neith mid is just a more viable option in my opinion.
Well, given that they've drafted this double hunter, I'm sort of expecting a Guardian to be going into the solo lane, or at least a very tanky peel-based warrior. Maybe like a Hercules potentially pick up for Corvidae. As Kumbhakana and Nuwa going to be picked up by Avant Garde. Forced to go a bit deeper into his god pool there is Mouse, but Kumbhakana pick up a lot of peel potential there.
Yes, and we've seen Gruff in the past actually play the Kumbhakana, so he has got experience on the Kumba. Kumba I see as a very weird support, a lot of soft CC, not very much hard CC except for the ultimate. And then Hades, someone we haven't seen for a very long time, finally making an appearance.
Yeah, he's finally come back into this. He's going to go against the Cabrakan in the solo lane. It's actually a good matchup, and Hades can silence out the Tremors, can sustain himself through Cabrakan's rather high burst, and can just really bully him out of lane himself. So I expect that it's going to be a good matchup. Hades expect him to do well, but also expect Liquid Renegade to help out Chuckles if he needs it.
I expect actually possibly even maybe this might happen a level 1 invade just because Cabrakan and Ratatusker, you have the protection straight on Flurry, you have either the Seismic Crush or Refraction Shield, so either way you're doing an insane amount of burst damage, and then you have to remember it's a Nemesis. Nemesis jungle clear is very weak early on, she doesn't come online until more the mid-late game, so you can really push that advantage and just completely shut down the Nemesis, who you said was really the one true counter to this Cabrakan.
So as we go into game, Avant Garde on the left side, Corvidae on the right, do you expect Nemesis to be picking up a Wrath to sort of get rid of this weak early game clear?
It would not surprise me, especially with the recent buff to Wrath. It actually wouldn't be too bad a pickup. However, I would highly recommend getting a Purification simply because it's one, a Cabrakan, and it's a Ratatusker. Ratatusker with that Acon Blast can stun you out for quite a decent amount of time. And as you see, she does indeed go for the Purification. She understands that you have to be very careful around this Ratatusker. And even slightly just not considering how powerful he is, you will suffer quite a lot of death if you don't actually recognize the Ratatusker. It's just going to be doing a lot in the early game.
So already a misplay from Corvidae. They've placed 2 wards in the exact same position. That's 50 gold early game wasted by either Trilogy or Calcification, whichever way you want to look at it. And it's just sat there on the right side, top of the mid-Harpies.
Well, it shows also that they're very cautious. That you can already see that Avant had put some very deep wards around both speed and near blue. Well, Corvidae, they're like, okay, we're probably going to get invaded. We've dropped a bit of a later game kind of jungle. We need to be careful. And obviously they have made a mistake by putting the 2 wards down, but the sentiment is there. They want to be super careful. And Avant, they're just playing at the normal style. There's no invade. They know what's happened, and they're just going to play it absolutely normally.
Yeah, and if you try to invade a Hades, if you get some massive heal off with Blight against 3 minions and 2 gods, that's going to be a lot of damage, a lot of sustain as well. It just makes the invade almost impossible. So Liquid Renegade and Chuckle's going to go to safe route, going to be getting their speed into blue, then into lane, and maybe look to pressure them out there when they're level 2.
Yes, and then we can just have a look more like, I'm actually interested to see how Liquid Renegade deals with Desecrator underneath, because Neath, the backflip is a very predictable ability, and if you basically dart as soon as Neath backflips, you basically go into, use the Acorn Blast, flurry her, and she's just dead.
Yeah, contestant going down on these right side mid Harpies, but maybe Avant Garde giving this one up. That's Trilogy, Desecrator, they try and clear it up as good as possible. It's going to be a 1-for-1, and they're going to go straight onto Trilogy, taking himself down to half HP. Rotation from Chuckles as well around the back, but it's not going to be in time as Trilogy gets out.
Yes, this game we can actually see Liquid Renegade hasn't gone to the red pot start. Instead, he's actually gone to the tier 2 of the Acorn of Usenglold. Actually, I can never pronounce that correctly. I'm sorry about butchering the Norse tongue. But he has now got the Acorn of Swiftness, which once he gets enough gold, he can actually buy his final tier of the Acorn outside of base, which very few people can actually do.
Left side mid Harpies, and it's pronounced Yggdrasil as they look to contest them once again. The last count went 1-for-1. Do we expect something similar to happen here? As Mouse and Liquid Renegade do pull it, Desecrator and Trilogy. They don't recognize the rotation from Gruff behind them. This could be a kill as a Blake and Bez comes in, finds both of them, and they're going to go to Desecrator. The beats are good, but it's not going to be good enough as they're going to chase down the backflip, and there should be first blood going the way of Liquid Renegade.
A lot of people forget that the Kumba Mez, if you wake them up early, you actually slow both their movement speed and attack speed, and then combine that with his throw minion, that also slows. There was no way Desecrator was getting away, especially with due to how that backflip is one of the most predictable leaps in the game, and it's not that far away, actually. So all they had to do was just be patient, and that was a beautiful rotation by Gruff, exactly what they needed to start out this game.
So given the fact that they've got 3 auto-attack based characters, this Gubicana pick seems a lot stronger than it did on paper, as it counters, well, 60% of Corvidae's lineup.
Not to mention, if they wanted, they could easily just pick up a Height of the Nemean. On either, just even the Cabrakan as well could go the Height of the Nemean. And then you'll also possibly see a Void Shield come out from the Ratatusker to make it even harder for any of the physicals to live. So they have so many ways to just counter this, as you said, auto-attack based lineup, that it's a lot easier for Avant to build compared to Corvidae.
I honestly think that we might be seeing a Thorns come out as a double Mez comes out from Gruff on the left-hand side. Good Mez, retaliation from Just Speedy, and stun from Calcification. Force to leap away as the root does come out. Avant Garde currently have control over this left-hand side jungle entirely.
Yes, and Liquid Renegade has also now hit 5, so we can expect a 3 of the Cosmos any time now if they just want to set up a simple gank, even onto the Nemesis, who has that Swift Vengeance. Even that might not be enough, simply because Mouse can do a lot of damage with the Shining Metal Clay Soldiers combo, and then you just use the Red Tusker.
KO's in a lot of trouble right now, going to get dashed upon. Purification's early, but it catches Liquid Renegade off guard as he goes for the stun still.
Yes, that's the thing. Kind of like you have an instinct sort of thing going on with Ratatusker. You're like, the instant you die, you kind of want to throw the Acorn, because that way you got the root combine the Acorn. But KO just staying calm, just recognizing that if that's done, a lot of the abilities of Liquid are down. Even though he has got that, he's now got his full Acorn online. He's going to be healing off his abilities. He has a lot more damage. It won't be enough to deal with the tanky Hades.
Yeah, Mouse already forced to go back to base, bought tier 2 off the roots. He did get ganked from Trilogy Desecrator. Both of them using their ultimate there as well, and they didn't manage to find the kill onto the Nilwar, unfortunately. So that's a win for Mouse in my books. Didn't even have to use his Sanctuary. Right side mid harpies have spawned, and Gruff's already on the case.
Yes, Gruff is just making sure he gets that farm. Akumba, even slightly Akumba, what you can see is Akumba going to choose the Magi, because his Groggy Strike combined that with his Throw Minion does a surprising amount of damage, especially if you're able to hit a full minion wave and then hit a god, because you actually do more damage the more minions you hit before you hit the god.
Yeah, well, I do like his decision to go into Traveler's Shoes instead. A lot more rotational ability means he can stay in the fights a bit better, can try and catch out this Nemesis a bit more, and can start to get ahead in farm of the backers who more than likely will go into those shoes in the match here, like you said. Yes, and the thing is, Corvidae, they can kind of capitalize off it. If they know that Gruff hasn't gone into something like a Reinforced Shoes, they do have quite a bit of CC. They have the Divine Judgment as well if they want to reduce the protections of Gruff. And since they have drafted this auto-attack based lineup, they can deal a lot more easily with the Kumba Kana passive compared to some other rosters who lack that attack speed to kill the Kumba later on. So in an extended engagement, this basic attack lineup from Corvidae will do wonders. But I just can't see Avant Garde losing it if they manage to get the drop on the fight. If Kumba Kana gets a nice 2-3-man mez, then it should really be fight going to Avant Garde. As a Gold Fury gets started up by Corvidae, recognizing the fact that there's no one around from Avant Garde as they all went to the right-hand side. However, Mouse as well as Gruff have rotated. They might be able to send no Corvidae able to just pick it up. Just Desecrate actually might pay with his life for that, but the Divine Judgment does come out. Yeah, Gruff does claim the second kill of this game onto Desecrate, just crashing down. Comes Liquid Renegade, finds the 3-man knockup. His Trilogy tries to get out. The stun's going to be off the mark, but taking so much damage from the Acorn Blast. The root's going to be good to Rob Diggity with the 3rd kill of the game. Even losing that Gold Fury there, Avant still got that advantage, especially since they're getting the kills and assists onto the Ratatusker. That's really what you want to see. Similar to a Susanoo, you want to get that Ratatusker snowballing early, so that knockup, that Acorn Blast, all his abilities just do so much damage. Casification trying to zone out Gruff as the rest of the team from the tower, but there's no hope. They're going to take that town, possibly even his life. Classification quite low. They're trying. El-Chuckle's just waiting for the lead, but it's not even going to matter. Liquid Renegade going to kill him before he even gets out. Counter rotation as well. Finds the Pillar of Agony onto 2 people. Gruff quite low. Going to be taken into his passive forward. This should be the 1st kill of the game for Corvidae, and it does go the way of Desecrator. Having a look at the graphs now, even though they were able to secure that Gold Fury, their lead is very much in the way of Avant. XP 2,600, gold 1,700. This is by no means something that's impossible to come back from, but it's a good jumping off point for Avant if they want to keep this lead going. So Avant Garde's real struggle against some of the better teams in OC has really been their ability to control the objectives, and it's just shown there again by Corvidae to take this way that Gold Fury. But they have got better at punishing teams for taking away those objectives. And managed to get that mid tower as well. And what they should really be looking to do is punish them even further by looking for invades in the jungle in a minute's time. They could easily look for an invade. Currently, the Ratatusker has the Spike Shield over the Nemesis. He's going also into the same Void Shield, which will most likely, but currently only has the Round Shield. So they have that protection shred advantage, not to mention the Flurry also shreds protection. So he's just constantly removing all these protections that make Corvidae so tanky that they need to have, especially for the Barkers, because he needs to keep his more squishy lineup alive, especially due to the fact that they're hunters. They're not mages, they're not guardians or warriors, they're hunters. They need to be kept alive. And Speedy is going aggressive onto Rob Diggity, who's quite low, but Gruff blinks in and up into the air. He goes with that epic uppercut. Not going to be able to find the mark of the Golden Crow just yet. There it goes, and up comes the ultimate from Mouse as well. The Med's going to be off the mark thanks to the Purification, but the root's going to be good. And this should be one dead hunter, but Rob Diggity gives up the chase, instead clearing the minions. Yes, actually, let's have a look. Rob Diggity very, very low. So if he accidentally misplayed that, got hit by a Snow Beautiful, that could have killed him. I think that was kind of the right play. Just forcing a person out of lane is more important than actually killing them. That's still a very equal trade. Also, due to the fact that Rob Diggity has gone into Transcendence, he kind of wants to build those Transcendence stacks before he goes into a fight. He does have a very good mid-game team fight.
but when he's this low, you can't really expect him to fight. He needs to be careful and still do his job as an ADC and farm.
Oh, Trilogy taken out a half health by El Chuckles as he looks to the invade onto this blue buff. And they're just going to force him out, but he's still here. He's still quite high HP. Low on mana, though, is El Chuckles. He's got to be careful about which skills he uses. In the mid lane, though, 3-man grouping up from Avant Garde versus the 2 from Corvidae. His calcification rotates over to this blue buff.
Yes, and as they rotate, the Cabrakan actual teleport comes in, just catching Corvidae by surprise, but they're a little bit further back than El Chuckles anticipated, so they're just going to get themselves the blue buff. It's really the fact that El Chuckles is just being there to be that presence, that intimidating Cabrakan that someone can't really beat. KO getting stunned out by the Seismic Crush, but just a little bit to poke, just Cabrakan doing his job of trying to slowly whittle away KO.
Yeah, that ward there really should have been taken down by Corvidae, simply because they had 4 seconds to take it down, not the 3 that it used to be before it got nerfed.
Yes, however, I'm actually kind of surprised. If you have a look at the player damage, usually every time a Cabrakan's in a game, he's always top of the charts. Currently, he's actually at the very bottom. Okay, so... Oh, sorry about that, anyway.
Sorry, I just had to go settle something real quickly, but yeah, Cabrakan at the lowest on the damage chart. El Chuckles really has been playing this very aggressively, but KO's been playing it very passively himself in response, just to make sure he doesn't feed this Cabrakan and let El Chuckles go on a rampage.
However, over in the mid lane, though, Mouse getting extremely low. The World Weaver comes out, picks up the kill. Just Speedy also picks up Liquid Renegade, and during that time as well, Gruff fell. So now 4 kills. Casification getting a kill on Rob Diggity. El Chuckles, however, rotating over, getting a kill into Desecrator, and he's now going to have to back off. Even though he's full health, full mana, the rest of 4 men of Corvidae are trying to chase him down, using that Refraction Shield to try and just stun them and get them away. The Belch comes out from K's, not enough to keep him there. El Chuckles is going to get away for absolutely free.
Yeah, and well, the fight goes the way of Avant Garde once more. Well, Corvidae actually get a nice turnaround, and, well, 4 members dying. Corvidae can really look for objectives, really look to invade on that speed buff.
Yes, however, Corvidae playing it a little bit more safer. They just push up the mid wave, and now they're going back to their farm. They know, even though they won the fight, El Chuckles is sitting around that speed buff or just sitting in the area, and if they try and invade, they will get punished heavily. Avant Garde can still punish them, especially since now that Liquid Renegade's back up. He doesn't have the ultimate, but he has full mana, full abilities, and he will look for blood if he can spot it.
Gold Fury has spawned, so Corvidae need to make sure that they do have this warded. Avant Garde want to ward it up as well to make sure that they don't lose it for a second time in this game. 10 minutes in, and, well, the game is pretty much even at this point, so kudos to Corvidae for actually pulling it right back when Avant Garde looked like they had a massive advantage.
And Casification actually forced to belly flop away as Gruff rooted him quite nicely there. Now just Speedy also getting stunned out by Rob Diggity. Avant kind of sitting around the red buff area and actually looking towards Gold Fury now if they want to go for it. They do need to be aware though, Casification does have the Intoxicate, as well as the 4 men are rotating over from Corvidae. And
well,
sorry, Best comes out as well as the Groggy Strike out onto Casification. Through the Cosmos on Liquid Renegade being used. Casification trying to belly flop him, but the Gold Fury has already been leashed away. The 5 shards finishes off K's, and our Liquid Renegade's looking to dive the backline onto Trilogy. The stun comes out, and the flurry. However, the Divine Judgment was very well placed by Trilogy, easily shredding away Liquid Renegade with the help from his team. But Avant Garde, during that entire engagement, used the Sunbreaker and secured the Gold Fury, and now Just Speedy has gone in across the skies.
Oh, Corvidae just got baited out completely by Avant Garde. That was the entire reason that they wanted just Gruff zoning by himself. They wanted to make sure that they got the fight off, killed a few people from Corvidae, and then get the Gold Fury. Unfortunately, they only got a 1-for-1 to begin with, and they didn't get as much of an advantage as they wanted to, but they'll take the Gold Fury, and they will take that win.
And they also were able to take the Tier 1 tower over in the solo lane, thanks to KO just kind of just sitting there, not really wanting to be in the fight. Having a look at our graphs now, we can see it's an 18,000 XP difference, 1,500 gold. Very little change in the graphs. It's been sitting around this 1,500, 2,000 mark most of the entire game for Avant Garde.
Yeah, and, well, Corvidae, they need to find some objectives, they need to find a way back into this. They got that solo lane tier 1 down already, good split push going on by KO, but by split pushing, he's making his team fight a 4 versus 5, which they cannot win. The Radtasker is currently sitting behind the Nemesis, but he's still doing a lot of damage. Mouse, with those fire shots, making sure that the fight is always going to be in Avant Garde's favor in terms of health to begin with.
Yes, not to mention also, just to get that vision, in case you're wondering, where is KO? Because What if KO was suddenly behind the red buff or teleported in? You need to know this stuff, and vision, especially in SMITE, is extremely important since you can only see behind your character. You can't look at a bird's eye view. You only have your character, and that is all. Gruff going in on for a mez on Just Speedy, but Just Speedy just going to dash away. Not much is going to come from it. Both teams are going to kind of stare at each other and walk away.
Well, I expect Avant Garde to be looking for the fight. They did get the last Gold Fury. They have the gold lead. They have the experience lead, and they need to start pushing it down. Because if the Corvidae lineup does get to late game, I kind of expect them to be able to take these extended engagements, which their team comp desires, and start to look to win the game from there.
Not to mention the split push power of an Apollo is something that really needs to be careful. Liquid Renegade, not Liquid Renegade, Rob Diggity on the Huey doesn't have a steroid to push, and now KO blinking in under, trying to use the death from below, but now the beads and the sanctuary come out, as well as the through the cosmos from Liquid Renegade and the fire shards, and now just chaos has ensued. KO getting extremely low, Rob Diggity just chasing him down, and he's just trying to walk away, doesn't have the, and as well as the Groggy Strike coming out from Grub onto Just Speedy. Rob Diggity does get the kill, Desecrate however, piece of a kill onto Mouse, the Suns fall down, Just Speedy, Mez down, now Chuckles is rotated in, he's doing a lot of damage onto Desecrate, using the Tectonic Shift, Case of Occasion trying to stop Gruff from getting the kill onto Just Speedy, Just Speedy is running away, Chuckles, Gruff both in pursuit, trying to get something, the Seismic Crush has been popped, and Gruff popping the Groggy Strike, but the Mez, lovely done by Just Speedy, and they're able to get away under the tier 2, Case of Occasion however, will most likely have to pay for his life, he's the only one who could not get away, Chuckles credited with the kill.
The problem with that fight was KO went into the tower and used his Spinner of Agony when nobody was around to really follow up on that engagement. And it just cost Corvidae a potential tower. It also has cost them a lot of lives and a lot of momentum going the way of Avant Garde.
And now the Across the Sky comes in from Just Speedy, but the Mez from Gruff is easy enough as Rob Diggity is able to just dive bomb away. They very, very nearly got that tier 2 there, but they were played it safe. They knew Just Speedy was incoming. And now Liquid Renegade's actually split pushing on the duo side with no contestation. However, Desecrator is on the way and he's bringing minions with him. So if he's not quick, he won't be able to get that tower.
Liquid Renegade split pushing the left-hand side. And he's going to do a good job about it, but there's going to be a rotation for Corvidae. He needs to try and back off as soon as possible.
Trilogy is there. He could look to go, and there's the Swift Vengeance, but Liquid Renegade just using that dart. It's a very long-range dash. He can easily get away, and now they get away free. They actually very much, sorry, the tier 1 is extremely low. The tier 2, basically within a breath of dying, they just need to be patient and wait for the next team fight when they can go for the next advantage or the next push, the next win. Because currently Avant Garde 9-7, 15 minutes in.
Well, they need to try and take down this remaining tier 1 and possibly even a couple more tier 2s. If they manage to do that and then get a deicide from now on in, they can look to potentially end if the fight was happening far forward enough. Like, say, around...
Sorry, over in the silver lane, though, actually, KO is actually surrounded by 3 members of Avant Garde, getting stunned out by both Chuckles as well as Liquid Renegade. Gruff doing a nice mez, and now Liquid Renegade engaging again the Pillar of Agony, trying to do something, but the Tremors is too much. Liquid Renegade gets the kill. Over in the mid lane, though, massive engagement from Corvidae as they try and take this tier 1. Rob Diggity solos Just Speedy in the duo lane. They managed to take the tier 1 Corvidae, though. They back off. They know they've gotten one single win. Liquid Renegade, though, coming in with the through the cosmos onto Case Vacation. The Divine Judgment, though, very well placed by Trilogy. Again, picking up Liquid Renegade. Gruff rotating in with the Blink, as well as the Groggy Strike, trying to pick up Case Vacation. But Case trying to run away, trying to juke around. Not enough. Mouse secures the kill. And on Desecrator looking to fall as well, as he is surrounded by both Gruff and Chuckles. He uses the backflip. He's trying to run away, using the weave to heal himself just a little bit. The Tectonic Shift comes out, the Seismic Crush, every the Tremors, and that will be it. Mouse finishing him off. Now they can easily look to either go Gold Fury or the tier 2 tower in mid.
I would say the tier 2 tower and then rotate into the Gold Fury. It's further up the tier 2 tower. It's very low, and they can look to just take it down, then go into the Gold Fury and get 2 objectives for the price of 1. And that's really...
Just Speedy, sorry, coming in with the Across the Skies onto Gruff. Gruff extremely low. If he doesn't get out, KO maybe able to pick up the kill. Nice job by Just Speedy, getting him into the passive meter. And since it's Apollo, he has the audacity. There is no hope for them. But while that was happening, they were also able to secure the both, not just the tier 2 in mid, but the tier 2 in duo lane. Chuckles on the retreat now. He has to get out. They've got what they wanted, and he has the protections. He can get out as he sees fits.
So they've only got 1 tier 2 left, have Corvidae. They did manage to pick up Gruff for the aggression, which Avant Garde did manage to get, but they lost the Gold Fury, and they've only got that 1 structure left. 3 Phoenixes still stand, which is all they really need. If they got those Firebirds still standing, they can look to still stay in this game. They can look to take this as late as possible. But the second Avant Garde want to, they can just turn on a switch and go on for those Phoenixes.
But with Avant Garde just getting the second Gold Fury of the game, the XP difference is now 7,400, 8,000 gold. This is going to get a lot further away from Corvidae. This is kind of a reminder of Game 1 when they last met. Corvidae, they simply just don't have the mid game that they need. Even the Neath isn't doing enough. KO really being the only point of resistance, as well as Trilogy doing a very good job on the Nemesis, actually. Able to kill the Ratatusk whenever he dives a little bit too deep.
Yeah, and it's not been their lack of engagement, like it's been their lack of cohesive 5v5 team fight coordination. And it's really been KO not being there, not being in the right positions at the right time, engaging when there isn't really going to be much follow-up. And he really needs to start getting onto the same wavelength as the rest of his team. And then, and only then, can they look to just get a win, maybe.
And Avant forcing Corvidae a little bit back in the mid lane as they just go to take this red buff. They're taking away all the buffs, trying to steal as much farm away from Corvidae, give them as little chance as possible. And Rob Diggity just throwing out the Ricochet, just throwing out a little bits of burst. Oh, Chuckles getting the Seismic Crush as well as the Refraction Shield. Now goes down the trip as Rob Diggity gets a kill onto Calcification. The Pillar of Agony actually might be extremely good from KO, but Rob Diggity getting a double kill. KO picks up the kill on Chuckles, but Rob Diggity with a triple kill. And Liquid Renegade using the 3 of the Cosmos against Desecrator, who had tried to run away, but it was not enough. Just Speedy also now going to get caught out. Rob Diggity with the quadra kill. And now minions are pushing very close to the Phoenix. If Avant one, they can look to possibly even end with that Deicide.
Yeah, Deicide, and like I said, the fights happened further up than you would expect, and they've only got 2 Phoenixes exposed. This could actually be an end by Avant Garde as they look to push into it.
Yes, as they start attacking the Titan, Casification is alive. The next person to come up is Trilogy in 7 seconds, hiding around 60% HP. Avant just constantly trying to pressure it down. They have Rob, they have Mouse, they have everyone there below 50% now. Trilogy is up. Gruff needs to use that mess correctly. Rob Diggity gets another kill, but Gruff is taken down by Trilogy. Trilogy getting super low. Mouse picks up the kill, but falls at the same time. Desecrator gets Liquid Renegade, but the Titan just low enough. Falls for a 19-minute quick game. 20-13. Avant Garde taking the first game in the set.
So, unofficial pentakill for Rob Diggity? Can we call it that?